Hi, everyone, and welcome to Launch Your Life today. Thank you all for being part of the Comeback Champions Summit and sharing your precious time and energy with us this week to learn more about how to become a comeback champion. I'm Dr. Liz, and I am a comeback champion. I'm a #1 multi-international Amazon best-selling author, speaker, teacher, founder, medical director of the Arise Mind, Body, Spirit Healing Institute. And most recently, which I'm most excited about, I am founder of the forthcoming global Benjamin J. Dubrow Rainbow of Hope Charitable Foundation for Mental Health and Suicide Prevention. Now, all that said, I'm sure you've tuned in here because after seeing the title of my talk, you either, #1, know someone who is, or you yourself are curious about how you can launch your life today and champion your own comeback, not next month, not tomorrow, but today. In fact, right now. So if you are, raise your hands, both hands, raise them up high and clap real quick and enter a thumbs up or clapping hands emoji in the comments. Okay, great. So now let's get into the hows and whys of launching your life today. First of all, the whys for you. Who is this talk for? It is for you if you or a loved one has struggled with just feeling stuck in your life, or with persistent sadness or uncontrollable crying. How about even overcoming an emotional or physical trauma from your past? Have you or a loved one suffered an unbearable loss with uncontrollable grief, drug or alcohol addiction, mental illness, or even suicidal ideation? Well, if any of these are true for you or a loved one, and you're ready to come back and start living your best life today, then you're in the right place. This talk is also for you or a loved one if you're ready to start saving hundreds of thousands of dollars on counseling or mentoring exclusively through these issues and get started on a path of healing and loving your life again today. If so, raise both your arms up and clap real quick again and enter a thumbs up or clapping hands emoji in the comments section. And finally, this talk is for you or a loved one if you're ready to save hundreds of hours of your precious time and effort searching for resources to help you through these issues. Because today, by the end of this talk, I'm going to share with you all the healing resources I use throughout my life, what I'm currently doing this month and daily to keep my comeback strong and my life soaring, and how you can find out more about working with me as a coach and learning from me as your teacher or mentor. So next I'm going to talk about the whys for me. I told you about my book, but I need to go back further. Since I was 15 years old, I wanted to be a healer, specifically a doctor. I started with music and nutrition in community college, music for therapy, for music therapy, and nutrition for how our bodies utilize nutrients to remain healthy and also to heal itself if it's unhealthy. So I got my bachelor's in nutrition science, and I kept music in my life for pleasure and personal healing. And later on, I did get my master's and my doctorate in, hang on a second, immunology and clinical chemistry in general. And I learned the normal or the well processes of our bodies, why things go wrong, and how to get things back on track. I've also taught college level courses in all of these topics to pre-med students and nursing and science majors for over 30 years. But do you want to know what I feel most blessed about today? Let me see a heck yeah in the comments if you want to know what I feel most blessed about today. I feel most blessed about being here with you today to share how I not only survived all of those traumas and severe lows I had asked you about earlier in the talk, but how I thrived through them to finish my education and to ultimately champion my own comeback and launch my life beyond my wildest dreams. And finally, to be an advocate, a resource, and a healer for others today who are trying to navigate through similar situations by sharing my story, by teaching, coaching, mentoring, and forming this Rainbow of Hope global charitable foundation for mental health and suicide prevention that I mentioned earlier. So now the last part of the whys for me lead into the how I made my comeback. So I mentioned my educational accomplishments just now because during my life growing up, school was pretty much the only place I received consistent positive feedback. So I excelled in school and my education because it was a safe haven for me. And one of the better parts of my life growing up, being outside of my home, away from my family, and the dysfunction going on there. So school and education was what I call in my book a saving grace in my otherwise depressed life. And furthermore, I realized that saving graces throughout my traumatic life experience were really the beginnings of my healing journey. Things that I did or opportunities I had, which gave me that ray of hope to carry on, that things might get better if I just hung on a little bit longer. So I want to share with you now some of the lowlights of my life, only for the purposes of highlighting the healing and those saving graces, which helped me come back and ultimately became ingredients in my recipe for launching my life. And it's just a taste for you. You'll be able to get more of that at the end of the talk. I'll tell you how you can find out more. So, in my life, I experienced physical and sexual abuse from family members, friends, and community leaders throughout my childhood, teens, and ultimately, without realizing it, I allowed myself to be a victim in my adulthood. My saving graces from these were developing a relationship with a higher power, praying, which is asking questions, and meditating, which is listening for the answers. Music, exercise, sports, school, trusted friends who were healthier than me, and others, other types of saving graces. I also started using and abusing drugs and alcohol when I was 12. I started seriously wanting to disappear or end my life at 15. By 25, I got clean and sober by joining one of the anonymous 12-step groups for these problems. And my saving graces from addiction and suicidal ideation initially were the counselor that my mom took me to at 15, and also these 12-step programs, which working them includes reading, writing, and sharing my story, which again are some of the many things that I've continued to do in my life today. I also experienced physical pain from domestic violence, from migraines since I was in third grade, from injuries and broken bones from several car accidents between 15 and 25 years old. I've also had at least 8 surgeries throughout my life, including 2 abortions as a teen and young adult, which of course were very upsetting to me. My saving graces were staying clean throughout all of these surgeries and accidents and repairs from these items, from these incidences, including I did it without narcotics. I only used over-the-counter medications. Also chiropractic care, professional counseling, other non-traditional medicine like acupuncture, massage, herbs, therapeutic tape, and exercise, forcing myself to get up and move to start my physical healing from some of those surgeries sooner and have a faster comeback to normal functioning. So those were some of those saving graces in those situations. I also know the pain and humiliation of living with a mental illness, suicidal ideation, and cutting on yourself. I started cutting around 13. And I was 15 the first time my mom knew I was thinking about wanting to take my life. At 17, I was bulimic. And from 15 up until about 36 years old, I had a diagnosis of a low-grade form of depression. But shortly after, I was diagnosed with a form of bipolar disorder outright. And for all of these, my saving graces were, of course, professional talk therapy, such as counseling, music, singing, playing, and listening to music, sports, participation in it, and otherwise. And of course, I enjoy watching it as well. And I was on some medicine for a period of time, but not forever. I do not continue to take it. And partly because I've used many of these other techniques and healed myself lots of talking with trusted others and herbs, not the illegal type or whatever, the medicinal type, just regular healing herbs, aromatherapy, massage, chiropractic care, exercise, and education again, reading, writing, and creative outlets. So all those were saving graces for me in some of the mental illness and the mental traumas. And then finally, not not the least of which, because it's last, but the pain of losing a loved one from a tragic accident or suicide in my case, or both. When I was 12, my brother died from his injuries after a car accident that was caused by a drunk driver. In my teens, I lost more than a few friends from suicide or drunk driving accidents. When I was 26, my neighbor who I babysat 10 years earlier took his life with a gun while at the same time driving his car off a bridge and blowing up his car with a self-made pipe bomb. I know it sounds unbelievable, but it is true. And it was very upsetting because he obviously wanted so much to make sure that his life was not going to survive through that. And within my own nuclear family, my great grandmother, my first cousin, and when I was 42 years old, my third husband all took their own lives. So this last one was the most pivotal point in my life, my lowest low. We did have a child together who was not quite 3 when his dad died, and our lives, as we knew it, disappeared forever in that moment. But I didn't have another life yet for us to turn to. I was in a very dark place of unknowing. I had no future to look to, and everything from the past was painful because it all was related to him or led to me finding him and having our child, which actually our son was my only saving grace at the beginning of that. I lived and survived through my grief one day at a time for my son. I was able to create a new life for us with the saving graces of my religious community, prayer, talking, sharing ideas and feelings with friends and professionals, and practicing most of the previous saving graces that I've already mentioned. However, even after 10 years since my late husband's suicide by 2016 or so, I did not like this new life. In fact, I really did hate it secretly. I wasn't really living it. I was surviving only and faking the rest for my son. So I decided enough was enough. And I tried 2 new healing therapies, which turned out to be my greatest saving graces. They were equine therapy, which is with horses, and a lot of veterans practice that, and feng shui. The equine therapy was very powerful and helped me through my anger and helped me to forgive my late husband. And 6 months later, I implemented a couple of feng shui um, recommendations in my home, but one specifically to reduce negativity and sadness in my bedroom. And I woke up the next morning and I immediately felt lighter. A tremendous weight was lifted from my mind and my shoulders. And I finally felt that ray of hope that I was finally on the other side of the grief and that maybe I could start loving my life and truly living it again. Like I said, that was 2016, and it was the beginning of finally launching my life free from 40 years of past pain and trauma and making a full comeback, which led me on the road to write and self-publish my book in 2019, get my story out there on social media, and to help others. And now establishing the charitable foundation in memory of my late husband to help people all over the world get on the road to champion their own comeback and launch their lives. Um, so in summary, all of the saving graces that I practiced throughout my entire life, and many of which I've shared here, out of all of those, I have one thing, they all have one thing in common, and that is hope. In fact, a saving grace in and of itself actually saves, or it wouldn't be called that. So therefore, my gift to you today is the life-saving, life-restoring gift of hope. Even if it's just a touch of hope to help lift you up over a low spot in your life, to encourage you to hang on a bit longer until things get better, or to start on your own comeback journey and to start launching your life today. And so here's how it works. Hope will give you the courage to begin healing your past and reawaken your mind. Hope will give you the motivation to begin taking more physical action to restore your body. And both of these together, the mind and the body, will revive your spirit soul, which in turn leads to more hope. And so it's a positive upward spiral. And I call this healing strategy Arise, Mind, Body, Spirit Healing, or AMBS healing. And I want to give you a little practice that you can start today, right now, after you get done with this talk. And you can practice it for 21 days and implement mind, body, spirit healing in your life today. The 21-day practice, I don't know if you've heard about that before, but it's basically implementing something in your life for 21 days and it becomes a habit. And if it's a positive thing, it's developing a new positive habit. So first thing is decide on one thing that you can make a commitment to changing for the better right now today, and make a commitment to doing it for 21 days. Now, it may be something to reawaken your mind, learn from your past, maybe something like educate yourself about something, or positive affirmations, or personal reflection. Or it may be something to restore your body, help you live for today better, like moving your body more. I did that when I was getting older, and I was just like, I'm going to make a commitment to just move more, period. Or you can make a commitment to move more positively, in a positive direction. Or it may be something about your spirit, to revive your spirit or instill hope for tomorrow, like prayer or meditation, a practice that you haven't been doing regularly about a particular issue, or an attitude of gratitude, maybe making a gratitude list. So anyway, think about what that is and rewire your mind, body, and spirit by changing or doing this new healthy thing for 21 days. And then just repeat 1 and 2 with each of the other aspects of the triad. Either if you chose your mind first, then do the next thing on your body or spirit, and do that for 21 days. Repeat again until you've covered all 3 of the areas with a new practice. So I hopefully that will work for you, and you will enjoy that, and you will get some hope instilled in your life and some motivation towards launching your life today. Now I would like to ask, how many of you saw yourself in my story and have a better, more positive outlook on your life right now compared to 20 minutes ago? If so, raise your hands up over your head again and clap. And that's helping to uplift your spirits. Put yes, better, or positive in the comments. And so great. And now, as I promised, here is how you can unlock the rest of my free healing strategies. I want you to go to my website. It's www.drlizlifelaunch.com. And on that website, you can get access to my free healing resources booklet. There's a form you can fill out on the first page at that website, www.drlizlifelaunch.com. I have products for self-care and healing on the website on my healing resources page. I've got more about how I did it on the links for Dr. Liz in the media. I've got videos and podcasts that I've been on. You can look at and learn some more about my journey. You can read about my latest healing journey in my blogs on my blog page. You can get a free review copy of my audiobook by going to the Book Dr. Liz page and fill out a contact form, review audiobook. You can also get a free copy of every book that I write in the future before it's published by going to that same contact form and type in add me to your launch team. And you can find out how to work with me one-on-one by going to the Book Dr. Liz page. You can grab me as a speaker or your podcast for an event. And finally, you can find out more about Arise, Mind, Body, Spirit Healing by going to the courses page. Thank you so much for your kind attention and interest. I wish you all the best life has to offer.